Have you ever stared at your raised bed, especially before it gets planted, and you thought, how in the world am I going to fit in everything I want to grow and make sure that it all grows well together? Well, today I'm walking you through the layouts that I have chosen for my raised beds this season, how I decide what goes where, which companion planting combinations I rely on, and how I mix in flowers and herbs to attract pollinators and keep pests at bay. Now this one right here is one I most want to show you because every single square in this bed is filled with something. But before we get to this bed, I want to show you some others on the other side to give you some ideas of some other combination plantings that you can do perhaps in your beds as well. In this bed, I am growing carrots and peppers together. It's a great pairing because carrots grow down into the soil while the peppers grow upward, so they don't compete with the same space. As the peppers fill out, their foliage can even help shade the carrots a bit, which is nice in warmer weather. And since both prefer loose, well-drained soil, they thrive in similar conditions without crowding each other out. I tried this combination for the first time 2 years ago, I believe, and it's one I continue going to because I found that they work so well together. Now the key here is I planted carrots, I think in early March this year, and so they got a head start before I planted my peppers in late April. Because of this delayed planting, the carrots get full sun while they're young, which is what they need, but by the time the hot weather gets here, the peppers are going to be able to shade and the carrots aren't going to need as much sun at that point. Now I squeezed a couple of other plantings in this just to get the most out of my space. The first one is a basil plant that I planted in between two peppers. Basil and peppers always pair well together. And then the other thing that I did was I added some lettuce here. These are planted really close to peppers. I wouldn't normally plant these as close to peppers, but I knew that these are pretty mature and I'll be harvesting them before the peppers really need all of this space. So this is another great combination to be able to take advantage of lettuce that likes the cool weather and then the young peppers that eventually will love the hot weather long after the lettuce is already done. I also did this exact same combination in this bed over here, so I have plenty of peppers, plenty of carrots to last me all season. This bed starts the season with cabbage, broccoli, and a variety of leafy greens, as you see up here. These are cool season crops that like the same conditions, lots of moisture, rich soil, and a little spring chill. But the real reason I planted arugula down here and the greens mixed next near the cabbage is for weed prevention. I planted spinach over here by the broccoli, but many of the seeds didn't germinate. I planted them in early March, which is pretty late for my climate, so I'm guessing I got them into the bed a little bit too late. But as we head into the heat of the summer, okra will start growing in this bed. I started sowing some of the okra seeds where the spinach should have been, and I will follow with more seeds and transplants as these crops come out. Okra loves the summer heat, so that makes this a perfect follow-up crop to all of these spring season crops. I also tucked in some alyssum among the border. Alyssum not only adds beauty, but it also attracts beneficial insects like hoverflies that help control cabbage pests naturally. Now, one other thing you'll notice here is that I have let some of these greens go to flower. These are some of the early greens that are more sensitive to heat than other greens like arugula, although I do see some signs of the arugula starting to flower as well. But the reason I'm leaving these flowers here is because syrphid flies, also known as hoverflies, I see one right there, love these flowers. And we want syrphid flies in the garden. Not only do they help cabbage pests, but they also primarily help with aphids, which is what I see a lot in my garden. I've got a tomato plant over in a grow bag that has a lot of aphids, so I'm hoping that these syrphid flies will help the whole garden space. That's why I'm leaving these in. I'm not taking them out right away. This bed is home to my summer squash and zucchini, and I've paired them with onions. These were onions that I planted back in November, and they overwintered very well, as you can see, in my zone 8A. I believe our lowest temperature over the winter this year was about 5 degrees, and I did cover them during that time, but for the most part, I left them uncovered. I really wasn't sure how they would do, and they definitely didn't grow really fast in the late winter, but as you can see now, the ones that survived, we did have a few that didn't make it, but most of them survived and they're really taking off. Now, the reason that I paired these with squash and zucchini is that squash and zucchini can take up a lot of space, but they grow mostly outward, while onions are going to stay compact and they don't mind a little bit of shade once the squash and zucchini start to grow larger later in the season. Now, in the early season right now, before the squash takes off, these onions really can benefit from full sun, and as you can see, they're definitely getting that. Onions also make great companions for squash because their strong scent can help deter pests like squash bugs and aphids. Although I wouldn't take that to mean that you'll never have a problem with those. They just might be a little bit of a deterrent. Now, this obviously is a very simple layout, but it's one that makes smart use of the space, and a little pest protection never hurts. Now, if you'll notice, I do have nasturtium over here in this corner, but I don't have anything in this corner. I planted a nasturtium plant and it was kind of weak to begin with and it didn't make it. I probably won't end up planting anything else here, partly because I don't have any more nasturtiums. I've planted them everywhere else in the garden, but also because once this squash starts taking off, it will fill this space altogether. So I really don't want to crowd out this bed too much. As you know, squash and zucchini may start out small, but eventually they can take over. Now we're back to this bed. This one is one of my favorites. It's packed with tomatoes, peppers, and a few of my go-to companion flowers. Tomatoes and peppers are in the same family and love similar conditions: sunny weather, fertile soil, and steady moisture. I just make sure to space them out to keep airflow moving and reduce the risk of too much disease. Around the edges and in between these plants, I have planted calendula, cosmos, alyssum, and marigold. These flowers bring in pollinators plus beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings and syrphid flies that help with pest control. It is functional and beautiful. And like I did in the other bed, I also tucked in several basil plants to complete the picture. I'm so excited to see how all this ends up looking in a couple of months. Moving to the bed behind us here, this bed is going to combine cucumbers, bush beans, and a mix of flowers that support pollination and prevent pests. Bush beans are a great companion for cucumbers because they help enrich the soil with nitrogen, which the cucumbers love. I've also added nasturtium, which is an early bloomer that brings in bees right when the cucumber vines need pollination. Without pollination, cucumbers won't form, so nasturtium really pulls its weight here. Just like in this bed right here, alyssum and cosmos round it out by attracting even more beneficial insects and keeping the garden diverse. I've also added a couple of marigolds in this space, which is always a great companion flower. I could have planted cucumbers on all three of these cages, which is what I'm doing this year. If you didn't see the video on that, we'll link that in the description about these tomato cages that I'm using as cages for cucumbers this year. But I didn't want to plant them all at once because I want to get cucumbers throughout the season. So I actually just planted cucumber for the first time in this middle cage. And then in the cage beside it, I'm planting Minnesota midget cantaloupe, which is a really small personal size cantaloupe. And I think that it'll be perfect for this small cage. And then on this other cage is where I'm doing nasturtium first. But then once this cucumber plant gets established and maybe I start harvesting it, then I'll plant a second planting over here on this trellis so that I can get cucumbers throughout the season. And then when the cantaloupe is pretty much done, I will do a third planting here. So yes, I'm planting cucumbers on all three of these trellises that you see behind me, but I'm not doing it all at the same time because I want to be able to have cucumbers throughout the season for my salads as long as possible. I hope this gave you a few ideas to take into your own raised bed layouts, whether you're new to gardening or just looking to grow a little more intentionally this season. If you're still figuring out how to fit everything into your space, I created a resource called Raised Bed Layout Designs. It includes pre-made layout ideas based on square foot gardening, common crop combinations, and companion planting strategies, perfect for helping you plan smarter and stress less. I'll drop a link to this guide in my shop in the description if you want to check it out. Plus, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to subscribe and I'll be sure to share with you how the garden grows throughout the season. I'll see you next time.